Okay. All right, cool. So it's April 6th, and this is going to be the Team Faithfully Fit Zoom call. And today we're going to talk about something I think that's going to be super helpful, whether you're a brand new coach or whether you've been coaching for a long time, because some of these things I'm just implementing, and not that I've been coaching for a long time, but 22 months into it, I'm still kind of adjusting everything that I do when it comes to inviting. So today we're going to be talking about inviting challengers to your challenge groups, which is usually a very scary, vital behavior for most people. And we're also going to be talking about, once you get your challengers to do challenge groups, how to keep them engaged. So I'm literally going to screen share with you guys some things that I do once we get into this, okay? But before that, I just want to do a little bit of recognition first. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So Super Saturday was this past Saturday. And for those of you that don't know, Super Saturday is an event that all of Beachbody, we pick 4 dates, 4 per quarter, obviously, in the year. And you find a Super Saturday near you and you go. And Laura, that's right, you went to a Super Saturday too. So I'm sorry that your picture is not on here.
That's okay.
Did you and Allison take a picture?
We did, actually.
Oh, man. Okay.
No, she was going to send it to me, but I know she's had a busier weekend, but she was, she has it. I don't.
Okay.
It was online, I thought. Didn't she post it? I thought she posted it.
Did she?
Yeah. I think I saw it on Facebook, I want to say.
On Allison's page.
Okay.
So my bad for not getting that.
That's quite all right.
But really, I just wanted to highlight, like, Kara was in Pennsylvania, and Laura was in Orlando, and Brandy was in Boca Raton, and Charlene and I drove to God knows where in New York to go to a Super Saturday. And God bless her for being the driver, because I just sat and chatted and looked out the window and drank my coffee. But one thing that I think came out of it is that, Hi. How's it going? Good. It's sort of like a bad connection. Do you want to mute it? Because I think it's bringing in some bad connectivity.
What happened to Heidi? Oh, there she is.
Okay.
Who is that?
I'm not sure. Does everyone have those on mute?
It said Paul was joining.
Hi.
All right, it's better now.
All right, there we go. Okay. All right, I'm glad you're on the call. Thanks for coming. Okay, so what I think came out of this was there's just more and more of us that are going to Super Saturday. And Heidi, I want to let you chat for a second really quick about live events, because whether your Super Saturday blew it out of the water or whether your Super Saturday had room for improvement, the fact is that you're getting people together in a room that are all like-minded. And there's something to be said for that, because you walk out feeling energized and excited. And that goes to say the same for like Summit and Platinum Edge, those fun events. There's just something to be said about it. Is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, I haven't been to a Super Saturday yet. I'm anxious to go for sure. But just going to the Dallas Platinum Edge, and I don't know if everybody here knows what that is, but it's just basically like kind of like a mini summit. It's our kind of like our, what do you call it, Tracy? Our, not division, but our upline, I guess.
Yeah, like the girl who really started our upline, her name is Christine Dwyer, and she puts it on, and everyone who goes to Platinum Edge, you can only be in Christine Dwyer's downline. So it's a much smaller version of Summit. And Heidi was there, and Deanna was there last year, and Allison and Kelly, and we just kind of were able to really soak it in. And the training is done all by people in the network that are on our team.
Yeah, so just that was my first live event to go to, and it was a combination of trainings and workouts. I mean, the workouts were basically in the morning and evening, and then we had trainings during the day. And it was definitely a turning point, not just for me in terms of my development and being able to work out with celebrity trainers, which is pretty awesome, but then to show people on Facebook what I was doing in that light because all they ever see me do is do stuff on my own, So for them to see like, oh wow, like she's really taking this seriously, and that she has a team, and it changed the view of how people see that. And then of course, you guys mostly saw me going on the cruise, and that's obviously that was a fun thing, and I earned it. But then I also got to be around celebrity trainers as well. So, and there were like, development things I could go to as well. So I think just the live events in general just kind of brings a different view to the opportunity.
Agreed.
And it just gets me pumped up. It gets me excited about it. And you meet like-minded people, which is pretty awesome.
Absolutely. Yes. So anyways, I just wanted to highlight those people who made the effort to go. And Laura Bertoli too. I'm sorry your picture's not on here.
That's quite all right. I had a great time. It was
Good, awesome. Good. Okay, so I want to also highlight Kara Treeweek. She actually just moved to a place in Pennsylvania, and I kid you not, she is like out in the country, and like no internet provider can get internet to work in her house. So,
oh my gosh.
Yes, she's like, it's sort of challenging when you're trying to get your own business up and running when you don't have internet, but thank goodness for the 3G network. So she's been coaching probably for 9 months, and she's gone through so many personal trials. This girl's story it will blow your brain out. However, I want to say that her consistency, especially over the last 3 months, she has hit Success Club 5 on the very last day of the month for the past 2 months in a row. Like at 10 o'clock at night on the 31st, she's going to get through. And that's really how I wanted to sort of end our recognition tonight, because that's really what this is about. Like it's not about getting stressed out on whether or not you're hitting Success Club. Of course, like there's a little bit of element of that, because once you hit it for a few months, you want to keep the momentum going. But it's about like really pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and thinking about your invites as a blessing instead of a burden. So my personal story is invites absolutely scared me to death. And I had to really dig in and be like, why am I so apt to invite? I mean, I used to be a recruiter. I used to manage a recruiting office. Like, how can I not recruit people for challenge groups? Because what happens is your warm market eventually dries up, and you start posting on Facebook. And if you're not getting new blood, all of a sudden it's crickets every time you post. And then you're like, whoa, what am I going to do? How am I going to keep this going? So that's a different topic in itself. But I had to think back to what was holding me back. And one of my best friends growing up, her dad was in lots of MLMs, back when MLMs were a lot different than they are now. And I remember the parties at the house, and I remember like inviting people. And then I remember when I first started my recruiting career and taking managers who were like my age now out to lunch when I was in my 20s. And some of them were like trying to sell me Amway stuff for Christmas lists. And it was so pushy that is what I associated an MLM with. Even though I was doing it and I believed in Beachbody and I believed in the products, I had to get rid of what my interpretation of an MLM was and look at it as the fact of what I'm doing is inspiring other people. And I can either bless them by sharing this opportunity, or I can look at this as a burden, like, oh, I have to invite. And once that paradigm shift in my mind, and I was like, this is a blessing. It is not a burden. This is a blessing. It is not a burden. And I focused on the people that it was blessing. Then I just got out of my own way, and the invites became so much easier. So I'm going to walk you guys through what I do. We're going to go back to those announcements later. We're going to go back to what I do. We're going to talk about what I do for invites. You can do this. You cannot do this. You can come up with your own thing. But here's what I do. So, trivia question for anyone who wants to take it off mute. How many times should you be posting on Facebook a day? And out of those posts, how many should be about Beachbody? Anybody want to answer?
I'll wait for the newbies.
3 a day, right?
3 a day, exactly. 3 a day. Honestly, I sort of go for 2. There's sometimes I'll do 3 a day, but out of those 2 a day, how many do you want to have Beachbody?
Less than 1 or 1?
Or less. Exactly,
Yeah.
Amy, because you're aiming for the 80-20 rule. So you're looking for like 20% of your posts to be like Beachbody related, and the other 80%, I don't want to say non-Beachbody, right? Because it's not that it's non-Beachbody, but it's more like telling your story, and you might just happen to have like, I don't know, like your 3-day refresh shake sitting in your hand, you know, something like that where you're not just a billboard for Beachbody, because that's yucky. Nobody wants that. So when you're making it a consistency in your posts, and hopefully you guys, especially you new people, are using your business activity tracker. And if you're not, then you have to find something to track. But one of the things on the business activity tracker is your yesterday's post likes. So what I do is I go back to the day before and I look at all the people that have liked my posts. And those are the people that I start inviting. So I'm going to show you an example of what I did. And just so you know, guys, I sent out 23 invitations on Monday in my power hour. And do you know how many people got back to me? A little more than that. 3. Okay? 3. So is that successful? Is that not successful? It doesn't matter, because you know what I did?
Good.
With all 23 of those people, it planted seeds is what it did. So let me walk you through what I did so that you guys can see. Let's get rid of this PowerPoint so that you guys can see a little bit about how I do it. So if you did not see this in the coach page, I have a new drive called Coach Tools and Tips. And if you click on the new Coach Tools, if you don't have access to this drive, let me know and I will add you. But I think most people are on here. If you go in here, there is a...
You can't see it, Tracy. Or I can't. Are you screen sharing?
Yep.
I can see your PowerPoint.
Okay.
Just
Thank you.
FYI.
Hold on a second. Let me fix that. I wonder if I'll ever be able to get through a call without having technical difficulties. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Where's my Zoom here?
So when you say go to your drive, though, where is that, on your Facebook page or on the Poach from a Coach page, or where? Because I know I've seen you post things before that have been on the drive. I've watched videos and stuff, but where, as a, you know, someone like me, where would I go to find that?
Heidi, I'm going to let you answer that while I find what's going on.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you're talking about the file section of the Poach page.
No, I'm talking about the Google Drive.
Oh, you're talking about the Google Drive?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, she would have to share the Google Drive with you just through your email address. And then you should be able to open it up. You're basically, I mean, all I did was, she sent me the email and I clicked on the link and I was able to open it up.
You can share it too, Heidi, because you're an admin.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I should be able to do that.
You share.
So then you'll send me an email, and then I can always go back to that email to click onto it, correct?
Yes.
Okay, can you guys?
There we go.
Okay. I think someone's trying to talk and I can't.
I know, it sounds really weird. I don't know what that is.
Huh. Okay.
Sounds like a chipmunk.
I know. Okay, so this is the Google Drive, Laura. This anybody can have access to it, and I can add. What's your email address?
Laura Higgs, Higgs, 2008. Sorry. There's a lot of Laura Higgs at 2008 at Gmail.
Okay. So for those of you that are not on here, you just private message your personally sponsored coach or me, or comment somewhere in the Poach page and I'll add you tonight. But what this is, there's a ton of stuff in here that sort of helps you for refresh, like how to convert a customer to a coach and how to set up your EFT, like little things that you might forget from training, and it's just an easy place to go to grab it. So Juliette Hahn, who's a 1-star qualifying diamond coach, once you become a star diamond or qualifying star diamond, you're able to get into these mastermind calls with your region. So she's in this regional mastermind call, and a couple of the women who are 1-star diamond coaches in her group have this whole follow-up series that they used. And so it's in here. And I think Amy has been using it, Amy Whitcomb and some of Amy's team, but it's the cold invite script, okay? So you can take a look at this later, but I went and changed it. And so I'll show you what I did in my Facebook. Can you guys see this? Can everyone see this?
Yep.
Okay. So All right, here's a great one. Okay, so have never talked to this girl before, but I see her in the hallways all the time at nursery school. Okay, so it's for those of you that can't see it. It just says, Paula, how are you? I saw your lovely face under one of my statuses. She liked one of my posts from Sunday. And then I changed it from what the girls had. And I just said, I really hope you don't mind me messaging you about something like this. I don't know if this would interest you, but I'm running an online fitness boot camp on the 18th, blah, 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 blah. And then I say, I already have a bunch of people on board, but it'd be an awesome group and you came to mind. And then I just said, like, I miss seeing you so much in the halls at MPNS, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yeah, thanks for thinking of me. The girls and I are heading to Florida this Thursday. I would love to look over any details you have. And she includes her email address. So what you can do, and I don't know if I can toggle back and forth. Can you guys see the PowerPoint still?
We see Facebook.
Okay. So what you can do though is I prefer doing that in Streak. So I know some of you who are new aren't going to know Streak quite yet, but you'll learn it. And so I like to do it in Streak because then I have their email and I can leave information and content in there about my conversations with those people. So for instance, I can move it out of Facebook after she gives it to me and I can go into Streak here. And these are all of my pipeline people for my challenge groups. So for instance, like this woman I'm talking to, I can put her in and I can start the email correspondence, and she just had her first baby in March. So I already set a reminder to call her probably mid-April when she's past her 6-week post-op. But the point is that email that I wrote that woman, Paula, through Facebook, I can copy that and I then could toggle back and forth and go back to all of my likes. I don't know which one it was, but I had something on Sunday where I got a pretty good amount of likes, like over 85 likes. So once I eliminated all the current Beachbody coaches and once I eliminated all the people already in my challenge groups, I have this group of people that's left over. And I'll tell you, those are the ones that are scary to invite because either I don't know them that well, or I do know them, but I haven't talked to them since high school, or they're from college and we used to like drink beers at fraternity parties together, and that's really all that there was. So you have to you can either cold invite them or you can start to warm them up. And if you go back to your business activity tracker, like who are you starting new conversations with? So you have to use your best judgment. The girl I'm drinking beers with on the hayride from the college days, I'm not going to all of a sudden just bam, invite her to a challenge group because again, that's yucky, right? But the woman that I'm seeing in the halls, she's seeing me in my workout clothes. She's made a couple comments like, oh, looking fit, whatever. That's someone that I know I could send an invite to straight away. So you have to use your best judgment and you have to do what's comfortable to you, but you also have to get out of your own way and not make excuses, because if you get in your own way, you're not going to invite anybody because inviting is scary. So you have to really use your best judgment. So when I send those, you have to be careful if you're doing it in Facebook Messenger. If you keep copy pasting, and sending them through Facebook Messenger, what happens is Facebook thinks that you're a robot and it will shut your account. It'll stall your account. So you have to be really careful. Like that started to happen to Julie at home where she was doing it through her like page, which again is a totally different call. But she was doing it through her like page and they flagged it. So that's why a lot of times I'll copy and paste it, but I'm going to add some different verbiage based on who I'm talking to. Are there any questions so far?
Just when you mentioned Streak, is that what you use to manage all your clients?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and that's part of Google or?
That is, if you have a Gmail address, you can use email through Streak, but you will get trained on Streak week 2 of getting started right.
Okay.
Like a high level, and then when you go to Emerald to Diamond training, you'll get a little more in depth.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. So you guys can't see this PowerPoint anymore, can you?
No.
Okay. Okay, we're just going to go without it. So I'm going to look at it. Okay. So here's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you're asking all the people that have liked your posts. And then you also want to make sure that you guys are still using your working list. So not only do I have my like challenge group prospects that I add into my streak after they're liking my stuff, but then I also have like my list of people, because there's plenty of people that are not on Facebook. So those people, you can use different strategies, whether it be email, whether it be voicing, or what have you. So once you get through your invites, and here we're aiming for, how many invites a day are we aiming for?
I do 5.
Yeah, good, Brandy, 5. Okay, so I sort of did the numbers on 5, okay? If you do 5 invites a day, that's 35 invites a week, which is 140 invites a month, okay? If you're inviting 140 people a month for 12 months straight, that's 1,680 invites a year, okay? So then I broke it down and I'm like, okay, 20%, would you say that out of 10 people that you ask, at least 2 say yes at some point, right? Maybe not the first time you ask, but if there's a 20% hit ratio or a 20% yes ratio, whatever you want to call it, that would mean 336 people would say yes a year if you're inviting 5 people a day. And so then if you divide that 336 number by 12, that's 28 people a month that would be in your challenge groups. And if you multiply that by 2, that's 56 Success Clubs points every single month, which is like, it's insane if you think of it from that perspective. So I know that I definitely have not been in my Beachbody career inviting 5 people a day, and 5 people a day seems like a lot, but when, like, it all goes back to the vital behaviors, right? So if you're working out and you're drinking your shake and you're reading your personal development and you're getting out of your own way when it comes to things that you're worried about, and then you're using social media truly as a tool, and you're spending time on it, like, I fully believe that in your power hour, you should be crafting a good post for the next day. You know, craft a post for your challenge group, craft a post for your personal page, because if you're just throwing stuff up about your dog or your kid or your girls' night out or your guys' night out or your vacation, and you're just, you know, sticking thoughtless posts up of you holding your Shakeology, and sometimes we do it because we're in a rush, but you want to have the posts that are crafted, the ones that are motivating and telling stories. And the way you find that motivation is through your personal development. And so that doesn't matter if it's a business book or a Bible study or poetic poems, whatever it is that inspires you. That's why the personal development is so key, because then you've got these posts that you're coming up with. And I used to go through coaches, like the top coaches, I would go through their pages to be inspired. And I don't do that anymore. And the reason why, it's not that it's not inspiring. There's a ton of awesome coaches with great ideas, but think of it like this way. So if you have your own locker at high school, since there's a lot of Bobcats on this call, I'm just going to use the high school theme and run with it. If you've got your own locker and your own code to your locker, and someone else basically takes that code and tries to open up their locker, it's not going to work. So it's like, I was going and looking at all these top coaches and trying to get inspired by them, but really all that was doing is influencing my posts. My posts need to be my story. Your posts need to be your story. My locker code isn't going to work on yours. So I really believe that your power hour, and we've done Zoom calls on this before, but it's so, so key to incorporate 10 to 15 minutes of just getting ideas on posts and thinking about what would be a good post. And so when I am in a place, like if Stefan's driving and I'm listening to my personal development, or I know when I flew to the leadership conference in LA, I couldn't get Wi-Fi and I was so mad that I had so much work to do. So instead I put in Start With Why by Simon Sinek on my Audible, and I put my earbuds in and I opened up a Word document and I started writing posts. And so now if I'm in a jam and it's like 6 a.m. and I don't have a post up, I go back to that document and I use one of those posts that was inspired by my personal development. So taking time to do your posts is key. And when you're doing good quality posts a couple times a week, it's going to inspire people to start seeing your stuff and liking your stuff, which then you get more likes, which then you go back to those likes and you send out invites, and it just sort of builds momentum so that you've got people to reach out to. So that's why the 5 invites a day is key, but I don't want to intimidate anyone who's brand new, because I did not invite 5 people a day my first month or 3 months or probably 9 months. I didn't. I'm really working on it now. Like I did 21 today, but I've been doing this for 22 months and I've been building momentum for 22 months. So don't feel like you're stressed at the end of the week because you only did 5 invites a week. I'm just letting you know what you want to aim, what your goals are to work up to. Okay. Any questions so far? Because there's just one last thing I'm going to touch on.
No, but Tracy, I was going to say too, like when you're new, even if you're not inviting 5 a day, just starting conversations with 5 a day is a good place to start.
Yes.
You know, like just by saying, like you said, like you may not, and say, you know, if you don't know the person really well, just say like, thank you so much for liking my post. I really appreciate it. It's hard to put myself out there sometimes.
Yes.
So this journey is, I take it day by day, and I just really appreciate the support. Just saying that, I did 29 of them on the plane of just those types of posts. And I got so many responses back. And it was just people I don't even know. And they were like, oh, like I'm here with you. And I read your posts every day. I look forward to them. I'm like, really? Like, I don't even know this person. They read them every day. Like I was shocked. So even just those types, like to shoot for that each day is a really big step, I think. And it helps.
Totally agree. Yes. Okay. So once you get somebody to say yes, and again, we're not going to get into that because this call is not about like handling objectives or anything like that. But once you get somebody that says yes, they've signed up, they get their challenge pack. Here's something new that I've been doing. So in the beginning, I did most of it through email. I was a little bit terrified of the telephone. I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't really have working hours. So I had like 4 kids in the background during summertime. I was like, I'm not going to talk to someone about their eating plan with these kids on the, so I just really stuck to email. And again, as you evolve as a coach, you'll come up with times where you're like, okay, these 2 hours are carved out for Beachbody, or these 6 hours are my big Beachbody day, or it's the weekend, hubby or wife is going to give me 3 hours to just do Beachbody. When you sort of come up with that and you're planning your week, I'm so anal, like this was my day today. Like I planned out during my Beachbody time exactly what it was that I needed to do, because we're all busy. You've got to be efficient in your power hour. Like, what am I doing? If not, you'll sit there and you'll get sucked into the Facebook newsfeed and you're like, oh my goodness, 30 minutes has gone by. So stay off the newsfeed, which is probably why I didn't see the Laura Bertoli Allison picture. But you've got your power hour. You've got your, just lost my train of thought here. You've got your, so just talking about, can I blame it on the 3-day refresh? And I'm not eating a lot right now for my brain. Was I just talking about? Oh, got it. So you've got the person that is going to start the challenge group. So now what I do in those times, like if I've got a challenge group that's starting Monday, I will talk to Stefan about like a 3-hour gap on a Saturday or Sunday, and I will plan phone calls with all of my brand new challengers. So I just started doing this like 3 months ago, but we don't do it on the phone. We do it through Zoom. So for those of you that went through the Emerald to Diamond training, you started your own Zoom account. And the thing that's cool about Zooming people, and they're like, oh, what do I do? I'm like, just click a link. Sometimes they don't know we're going to see each other. I'm like, hey, hi. And I'll be in my kitchen and I'll be like, let's talk about food prepping. And I cannot tell you how many people are like, what else is in your refrigerator? What else is in your refrigerator? And I will show them like what I have done, like, or what I'm going to do. Like, I've got the ingredients for this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And we'll literally, like, I'm not kidding. Like, I am like walking them around my kitchen like this. And they're like, wow, let me see. Will your kids eat that? And it has been the best way to get them excited and to understand visually what it looks like, because we can send like the Christine Dwyer video that we always do about like how to prep your food. But you might want to think as a coach about making your own video about how to prep your food that you can send your challengers before they start. Because it doesn't matter if they're 21-day fix. Size has the same workout or the same meal plan. 22-minute hardcore, 21-day fix extreme, hammer and chisel. All of those meal plans using the containers, it is the exact same meal plan with like a teeny tiny change. So once you know the meal plan, you can walk people through it. So I found that in the last 3 months, I'd say I started doing it in January, getting them either on the phone or on a Zoom call to talk about their food planning has been huge, because you want your challengers to be successful. Because when you have successful challengers, they either want to be a coach themselves, or they want to stick with you and do challenge group after challenge group, or they have such amazing results that all their friends start asking them, and they'll be like, Tracy, take this person, take this person, take this person. I don't have time, take this person. And you end up getting, I have one person that's given me probably 8 referrals. It's crazy. She does not want to coach. I keep asking her every time. She's like, no, you do it. So I do some things on the side, you know, to say to thank her for it. But when I've got these challengers on the phone with me for this Zoom call, or on the real phone or FaceTime or whatever it is that's personable and not through email, I will say to them, okay, have you done your measurements? No, not yet, but I'm going to. Okay, great. Are you going to do it, or do you need to send me your measurements? No, I'll do it. Have you done your pictures? You want people to have something tangible that they're able to look at for progress instead of the scale. So that's another thing. Make sure that you're really following up with your challengers. Some challengers will say, I'll send them to you, because they want that accountability. But I'm not going to ask every person for their before pictures if that's going to make them uncomfortable. But I would say 25% of the time I'll get pictures. So those are the things I think that really help getting some sort of personal thing going on with your challenger, getting them excited, helping to make sure that they're totally prepared. It's amazing to me how many people are really, really jammed up about the meal plan. Like, how am I going to feed my family? Am I going to be cooking all by myself? How am I going to do this? I don't have time. Like, totally freaking out about the meal plan. So, and then you just want to give them support. That's why challenge groups are always busy the weekend before they start, especially if you have a lot of new people. And the first week, like by Wednesday, I'm like emotionally tapped, because all my challengers are like, oh, I need to talk to you about what I'm eating. And it's a lot. But if you give them what they need, I promise it pays off, because they feel amazing at the end of their challenge group. And eventually they do get it, and they're not asking as many questions. And then it's more like a support role.
Heidi's laughing right now because that was me.
I loved it though. Like, it's the people who like go dark on me that, you know, don't ask questions that I wonder about. So I feel like if I get questions, that's like a good sign that people actually take it seriously, you know?
It is.
I like it. I loved it, Laura. You can keep asking me questions.
It is. And you don't ever want to assume that if you're not hearing from somebody that it's okay. Like I'll never forget the first challenger I talked to. And this is when I was new, and we got all the way to like the end of the challenge group. And I was like, so how did it go? Like, it was the first time I talked to her, and I found out that she wasn't eating all of her containers because she thought it was a guide not to exceed. And she was like, I'm not happy. I didn't really lose any weight. And she'd been eating like 4 containers a day. And I was like, oh my gosh. So don't assume that they're reading all of your posts on Facebook. Don't assume that they're watching all your videos. People are busy. So you can't make the assumption like, well, I put it in a post. Well, if the post was 4 paragraphs long, maybe they read it, maybe they didn't. You know, if your videos are longer than 2 minutes, chances are they're not watching it. People watch about 30 seconds of video. That's it. So,
a question real quick.
Yeah.
Question real quick. You said, when do you call them? The first weekend before it starts, or after the first week before it starts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Tracy, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. Do you do the Zoom call with all of them at the same time? Just like this?
You're a little static. Did you ask if I do the Zoom call at the same time?
With the group of challengers at the same time?
No, one at a time.
You do one at a time?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm talking like 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
And if it's someone who's like really, 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 really chatty, and here's another thing, you guys, I won't schedule a phone call with them unless I know they've opened the box and they've read the material, because you have to protect your time. Like, I'm not going to sit there and go through the whole thing when they can read it. I'm happy to be helpful to someone, but they have to meet me halfway.
Okay.
So I will say to them, okay, once you get your challenge pack, I want you to open up your challenge pack. I want you to read through the material. I want you to read through the book. I want you to be able to tell me what category you're in. I want you to tell me what category of containers you think is going to be tough for you so that we can talk about a game plan for you. And if I tell them that, and if we get on the phone and they don't have that information, or like, what, you guys, I did a house call once to a man, okay? And that, like, I usually don't do men challengers, but this was like a friend of a friend of a friend. I went over to his house. His box hadn't even been opened yet. And I was like, and I had a babysitter for my kids, you know, because my husband was out of town on the weekend. And that to me, I was like, okay, so I'm going to come back and we're going to talk on the phone after you open this box and go through it, because you have to set the boundary for your personal time, period. As long as you're setting the expectation, right? If you're not setting the expectation and they don't read the book, then that's your bad. But if you set the expectation and they come on and they want you to spoon feed them, that's probably an indication that it's going to be a tougher challenger, that you probably have to be very clear on the expectations. Because again, most of us are doing this with full-time jobs or with children at home, and we're all juggling a lot. So you will get less burned out if you're really clear about your time and your boundaries and who you're willing to help, right?
Yep. For sure.
Anything else? Hi, Erin. I didn't see you join. How are you?
I can't see Erin. I know she joined, but I can't see her.
You have to click, if I don't know what your view is, but if you click in the gallery view, you can see everybody.
Oh, yeah.
See?
I don't have that. I don't know why. Anyway. No, I think that's really good, Tracy. I don't do that. Like, I mean, I've definitely helped people walking through. I don't show them my refrigerator. So that's a good idea, or at least to do a video of my own, you know, to show. Because I spend more of my time at the front end doing the calls before they join.
Yes.
You know, not so much after. I definitely can't do both.
Right.
With time, but that's definitely, I definitely at least am gonna do a video, like a meal prep, like, hey, this is what's in my refrigerator, a video.
Yeah, start small. And here's a tip on that. So I probably need to do a new one. I have a what's in my refrigerator from a year ago, okay? And I posted it to my like page. So again, that's another Zoom call, personal page versus like page, that we can talk about another time. But I put it on my like page. And then what I'll do in some challenge groups is I will post that video to my challenge groups. So if you ever want to put a video up on whatever page in Facebook, it'll have your name, and then underneath it's like the date and the time in gray. And if you hover over that date and you click on it, it actually like pops up as this new post, and then you can highlight the post in the browser. And that is the link that if someone clicks on it, it goes directly to that post. Mm-hmm. Took me years to figure that out, I feel like. So you can take, if you post, this is about duplicating your efforts, right? So I made that video. I had to take like 4 takes and it still sort of stinks, but I get a lot of feedback on it, so I've left it up. But if I took that link and I posted it to my like page, and then in some challenge groups, I have taken the link to that post and posted it in my challenge groups. Well, then what happens is you have 12 people in a challenge group that see that post, they click on the link, it takes them to my like page, and they like the video. So what it's doing is it's like rebirthing that post again, and it's increasing my affinity, and it's every time I post it, it's like the post comes back alive again. And then I get like random people liking it, which goes back to, I will go back to those likes the next day and start reaching out to those people. So again, like if you're going to make a video and you're going to do small steps, I actually just made a video on how to use on demand, because so many challenge pack purchasers, whether they come on as a coach or a customer, are like, okay, how do I use on demand? And I'm spending all this time typing it or like leaving a voicemail. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I made a video. So I haven't posted it yet, but I'm going to post it to my like page. And then anytime a challenger upgrades to a coach, or they become a coach, or if a customer opts in to the on demand, I'm going to take that link and I'm going to Facebook message it to them, and the link will pop. It'll like bring it back to life every time. So you'll learn to do little things like that with video that you can loop around, and you can duplicate those and use them for different things to help you also increase your social media use. Make sense?
Yep. Are you posting it? Is it a YouTube video or is it just a video right from your phone?
I put it on my YouTube channel, but I don't use the YouTube channel post for my like page. So I will organically put it on my like page, and then I will upload it to my YouTube channel. And I'm about ready to start like advertising for my YouTube channel to get some traction there now that I have a good base of video. So Facebook does not like YouTube. It will not give you good affinity on a YouTube post. It's fine to use a YouTube post in a challenge group because you're not working on affinity in a challenge group.
Yeah, true. Okay.
I have a question, Tracy, that's a little bit unrelated, but you had mentioned the other day, I had done the HootSuite for posts that I was using to build affinity before a CTA.
Yeah.
And you said that Facebook doesn't really like the HootSuite.
Yep.
So that's not going to build affinity. So I'm just curious, your HootSuite, do you primarily use it for challenge groups?
Yes.
Okay, so any of the ones that are going on your personal page, you're mostly posting real time.
Yeah. You know what? I will use HootSuite, Amy, for my personal page if it's like a motivational quote.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I don't really get a lot of huge hoopla on motivational quotes.
Okay.
I mean, I could sit here, if I had the entire team on the phone, I would on the Zoom call, I would be like, stop posting challenge group pictures without your picture.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, everyone does it. I did it
right.
too. I mean, I posted like a Shalene Johnson Pio ad on my Facebook. Gross. I mean, I can't believe I did that, but I'm so glad I did, so I can be like, we all do it. But you just don't get.
Can you explain what that means?
That means like the Beachbody material that they give you to promote things. You don't want to use like Shanti, like T25, or like I use like Shalene and her downward dog. Like, anyone want to be in a Pio challenge group? And it was like the advertising material from Beachbody.
It was very commercial.
Yes, like stock photos, exactly. So what happens is a lot of new coaches are scared to put themselves out there. I have one coach, she did not put a selfie up for 6 months. It's scary, like I get it. But you'll see the longer you do this, that the posts where you get the most engagement are the ones that you're in it, because we're emotional beings and people connect to who they're watching. They don't connect to an emotional like quote.
Yeah, and I'll say about that, like, I'm surprised, you know, the one I did the other day with me and my daughter where I'm like, I look ridiculous.
You look
I don't know about that, but I think you're so critical of yourself too, where some of the people that then reached out to me, I'm like, you're in such better shape than I am. Like, and yet it's about connection and like, well, yeah, but let's do this together. It'd be cool.
Totally. And for those of you that didn't see it, go to Amy Whittecomb's page. If you hover over her name, you can find her first and last name here. But it was awesome. It was she and her daughter, and they were getting ready to work out. And Amy just looks really, really cute and proud of her daughter, but very fit. And I think that goes back to Amy. Like, we're all on our own journey, right? I mean, I'm literally just now seeing some ab definition, and I've been doing this for 22 months. It's a hard area for me. It's like, you know what? There's some of you that did like one round of the 21-day fix and you have like a rocking 6-pack. You know, there's some of, you know, we all start in different places, you know? So.
And you know what, Amy, like, I think what's also why I think it's so important to have those 3 posts a day and having it so diverse is that you're gonna attract different types of people for those different posts. So like somebody saw the picture of you and your daughter and they're gonna be like, oh, I so can relate to that, or that totally inspires me. And then somebody else might be motivated by, I don't know, a quote or a recipe, right. Or so like that's why I find posting 3 times a day or 2 times a day so important, because I feel like, you know, we've got to hit those different people. You know, they're all going to be motivated by different things and at different times of the day. Like, I know right about now, like I have a high amount of people who are up late at night. every night. So I know those are like, I need, like my engaging posts, they need to be at night. I have a small group, you know, barely anybody's on during the day. It's usually morning, really early morning, or really late at night. So I have to like balance those posts, but at the same time, like it's so crazy. I think it was Chelsea that said this, Tracy. I can't remember who said this, that they encourage us to go through our own posts. Like just go to your name and go through your last like 5 or 6 posts. And if somebody were to search for your name and see those posts, would they be inspired or feel like they've gotten to know you a little bit by looking at your last 5 or 6 posts? And that was a wake up call for me, because today somebody said that, like they messaged me like, hey, I looked through a bunch of your posts, like your last 6 or 7 posts, and I could relate to you. And so, yeah, I want to buy the challenge pack. Like, I want you to be my coach. And I was like, ooh, I'm glad those were good posts, you know?
True. And
So,
if anyone knows social media,
true.
Chelsea. I mean, listen to what she says. So for those of you that are following the Chelsea and Rob like April schedule, it's in the Poach page. That is hard. It is hard. It is hard. I'm having a really tough time with it, but I'm like, I'm just going to trust what they say. You guys, I've had 3 people reach out to me that I would have never invited to be coaches this week.
Yeah.
Like people that are in such like that continued on with corporate America after I left, that are in these executive roles, but they want out. They want out, and they're like, MLM is where it's at. I want to know more. And really, they're like, your posts lately have been really like resonating with me. And I'm not kidding you. Like, I feel like hugging Chelsea Pearson, being, thank you for pushing me out of my comfort zone. Her baby is Instagram, so go find Chelsea on Instagram, because she's done an amazing job. Most of her coaches she's found off Instagram.
I wanted to say one thing I heard on one of the groups was that whole thing about using HootSuite versus, she recommended that you open a private group page, like a almost like a challenge page, but it's only you. You don't invite anyone else to it. And that's where you can put some posts that you want to post in the next few days. And then you can just go there, copy it, and paste it without anyone else ever seeing it. But that's where you can craft them and have them all kind of waiting.
Love it. Wow.
Like you said, you know, you have them your notes somewhere.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea. Actually, my sisters do that for the challenge groups. And I'm on it because I guess they want me to take a peek before they go up, but they'll always craft their challenge groups ahead of time, and then in one they call test, and then put them in. But I didn't even think about, of course, you could do that for your personal.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Oh, your sisters are doing that for challenge groups. That's a good idea too, because then you also can go back and sort of reuse pictures. Because I can't tell you how many times I'm like, where was that picture I wanted to use?
Right.
Got to get organized with it, but it's all work in progress for sure. Okay, I think we covered some good stuff. So if you guys are not on the Google Drive, let me know. In fact, what you can do is, if you put your cursor down at the very bottom of this box, you should see a little button that says chat. Does everyone see that? And so if you're not in you have to go to the, you have to hit the gallery view so you can see all of us, and then go to the bottom and you'll see like mute, stop video, share screen, chat. So if you click on chat, you can chat me your email address, and I will add you as soon as this calls over to our Google Drive if you're not on it, so that you can access a lot of that info, which is good, especially for the newer coach. Sound good?
Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm on that Google Drive.
Okay, I'll add you.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time, guys. And Laura, if you want to stay on, I'll show you that in Facebook where that Pinterest page is. All right. Okay.
Good night.
Good night,
everyone. Thanks for doing this.
Okay, bye.
Night.
Stop recording.